Hey y'all, welcome to Layn Turo University. I'm here in a commercial parking lot. As you see behind me, a lot of spaces, a lot of cars back there, and a lot of spaces that are available. This video is about how I actually park my 20 cars. I own 20 cars. I'm also a hire car owner and a Turo power host. So it's pretty cool. I travel all around the world and I travel to different states, and I'm looking to open up in different states as well. So parking sometimes can be an issue. For example, in my market, I'm a Los Angeles Turo host and a Los Angeles hire car owner, where parking, first thing, is very, very limited and expensive oftentimes in the city of Los Angeles. Yes, there's areas around Los Angeles that are a little bit better, but oftentimes if you're trying to park a car at a commercial parking lot, it can be anywhere from $175, sometimes lower, but oftentimes on average $175 per car to about $200 to almost $300 per car, which is ludicrous. It's way too expensive. But when I travel to Texas, commercial parking is usually a lot cheaper than California, but can still be expensive the more you grow your fleet. So oftentimes I try to find free ways and hacks that I'm sharing with you guys, and I've shared many times on my channel, on how to actually find free parking and locate ways on how to actually park for free. In my city, unfortunately, street parking is not the easiest. There's a lot of other cities and states I've traveled to where street parking is actually free and there's no permits needed, and you just park your car and you're good to go, and that's it. But also in Los Angeles, a little more controlled, where if you park your car there too long, you can be towed after like 3 days sometimes, if you report it. You can also be told if you're in an area after a certain time frame that the sign says you're not supposed to be there. Oftentimes there's street cleans, you have to move your cars. So there's a lot more strategy that has to go into place, but I do utilize street parking. But I usually am I try to be very respectful in regards to neighbors and other parking. I try not to take up a whole street, and oftentimes I usually don't have an issue because my cars are usually rented back to back to back to back for hire car and for Turo, and so that's usually not an issue. I never really have one or two cars at a time. Even if I do, they're usually gone that same day or the very next day. And let me share how to actually do this, because with one car it might be a little bit easier, but as you start growing your fleet, like I actually own 20 cars, it becomes very hard to actually park on the street. That's very time consuming, too many spaces you're taking. You can be reported for that. And oftentimes most locales and municipalities I've traveled to, you have to be very careful about operating a business on streets, on public streets, because oftentimes it might not even be they might not actually allow you to, and if they do, you still might get someone who might complain against you. So be very careful and be mindful, be respectful, park and try not to take all the spaces. Just be a nice person. But the way to get out of this hack is, first and foremost, make sure your marketing game, your marketing strategy for Turo and hire car is on point. By subscribing to my channel, your car will always be out, so you'll never have to worry about parking ever again. I have a rule I like to follow, a motto I actually follow. If my car's parked there more than 2 days, I have a problem. That's just how it is. Like, I don't like cars being parked there, because that means that's money I'm not making. Makes no sense. Why do I have a rental car and a car that I'm supposed to be sharing on Turo and hire car if it's sitting there still? Makes no sense to me, right? So if that's the case, that means I have a big problem, people. So if your car's parked there too long, you have other problems you need to worry about. It's not even about parking anymore. It's why are people not selecting your car? You might even need to bring your price down, because even though, if you do the math, if you bring your price down a bit and it's out all the time, that'll basically make up for the amount of time it was sitting there before. If your car's sitting there, you're not making no money. Better to get some money than no money, right? And then at that point, build your reviews, and then you build your business up. Then you start charging a little bit more. Maybe your price too high. Maybe your car's the wrong color. Who knows? Figure that out. That's your first. If your car's parked there and you're worried about parking and that's expensive, or how to park your car, you might have bigger problems than what you really think you have. And like I said, if your car's not being booked, you shouldn't even be thinking about parking. I have 20 cars, and I rarely have any of my cars like at my house or at my lot. And I do have a lot, but the thing is, I don't need to use it. So the thing is, for those that are starting out, or if those who are a veteran or who've been on the Turo platform for a while, who are building their fleet, this is how you do it, people. Let me give you a few hacks. The first hack: make sure you market your car well, price at the right price. Maybe bring the price down a bit so you can start getting your car rented all the time, because the more you have it rented, even if you're charging a lower price, remember, you're not paying for parking then, because it's always out. So that's a hack. You just paid yourself, actually. So some people are like, I don't want to lower my price, but they're paying for parking though. It makes no sense. If you're gonna pay for parking, might as well lower your price and not pay parking. That way your car's always out and you're getting more money that way. First level. Second, try to utilize the street parking, but again, check with your city ordinance and make sure that you're following the laws and municipality codes for your city and state, because sometimes it's not allowed to operate a business utilizing and parking a commercial business. Yes, there's a gray area, but you still want to be very careful, be mindful of that. But implement the street parking, but read your signs, make sure you can do it, make sure it's legal. And most importantly, the hacks I like to use is this: the first hack. If your car just came back from a booking, for example, from a reservation, just got dropped off, you should have another booking within that same day or 2 days max. If it's longer than that, or even if it's 1 day, but especially if it's longer than, say it's 3-4 days, your car's sitting there to your next booking or you have no more bookings, what I like to do is to park my car. When your car's going through downtime and you're not in a situation where your car's making any money, this is the best time to get your tires checked, best time to get your oil checked, get your fluids checked. Why not? You can't do it when the person has your car. When your car's sitting there and not being booked, or when it's on a rest period, you need to get your car checked out. So this way, I mentioned this many times on my channel. At this point, what you have to do is contact your affiliated dealership. If you have a Honda, for example, take it to a Honda dealership. If you have a Mercedes, take it to a Mercedes dealership. If you have a Nissan, take it to a Nissan dealership. If you have a Jaguar, take it to a Jaguar dealership, etc., etc., etc. Take your brand, make and model of vehicle to its affiliated dealership, and they typically offer complimentary inspections. When they offer the complimentary inspection, they'll offer it for free. Most of them, not all, not always true, I found some that don't do this, but most of them have some type of agreement where they have a shuttle on hand where they can drive you back to your house and drive you back upon pickup, or even they have a Lyft agreement or Uber agreement oftentimes. And even if they don't, this is still a great way to park your car for free. It's getting inspected, and you can have it parked overnight or for at least a day or two. You can even go in detail and say, hey, if there's another customer that's behind me and they need you need to get to them first, feel free to get to them first. You say this so that you can say, hey, keep my car as long as possible, so that way they don't. This is your strategy of basically keep your car parked. Now you just got free parking. That's a hack. What I'm saying is this: when you get your car inspected by the dealership that's affiliated to your brand, they have to keep your car, usually overnight, maybe for 1 or 2 days. And at that point, or whatever, it helps your car, keeps your car, make sure your vehicle health is up to par. But at the same time, you just got to hack into free parking now, right? And you get a free Lyft shuttle home, or you get a free Lyft ride home, a free shuttle home, or a free Uber Lyft or Uber drive home, or you just get home yourself, but you still got the parked there. This is what you can do if your car hasn't been booked, or say waiting. Say you don't have a booking for the next 3 or 4 days. Keep your car parked at a dealership. It's protected by actual staff, and it's at a professional location, and that's free parking for you. Why not do that? That's thinking outside the box. That's the first hack. The second hack, what you guys can do, what I like to use, like, see this commercial parking lot behind me? I like to make connections with the owners or the management companies. If it's a big time company, they're usually monitored by management companies. And what I highly recommend is contact these management companies, or if they're a small mom and pop shop, or the security guards even, or even the managers that work for the store, and say, hey, if I buy a stick of gum, can I park here? Or can I park here for free? See what they say. If they say no, okay, cool. You're asking for free parking anyway. They better say no, right? But what about if they say yes? You always typically get, from my experience, more no's than yeses, but the yeses always outweigh the no's. The big yeses eliminate the hundreds of small no's. So yes, get comfortable with eating no's in your diet. People will say no to you. They'll probably look at you crazy. But you know how many times I get free parking from cool security guards that get to know me, or the managers of stores and everything? They actually let me park for free. And oftentimes, if they might say, hey, dude, just buy a stick of gum. I'm like, cool. And that's it. Now I can park there for free. And I also negotiated with one store in particular, and also a restaurant. To get free parking, what I've done is I said, since I also own a business consulting firm and I help businesses, I actually, when my clients fly in, or when I'm doing their insurance, going over their insurance review, I'll tell them, hey, let's have dinner at this restaurant, or hey, let's go hang out here, or hey, you should send your family there. And I tell that, and I get in contact with the owner, and I give them their information. They trust me now because they got to know me over the years. These are relationships that they build over the years, but you have to start from somewhere. Now they trust me. So what they say, hey, Conrad, Layn, I like you. You give me business. You send your clients to me. You send your you put us on a list. I also created a list for Turo guests and also hire car renters. A list of different restaurants they could work for, or restaurants you could eat at. So I give it to my Turo guests, and I also give it to my hire car renters. And so I refer them business. I don't tell people to go there, but I refer them, and I refer my clients there. So oftentimes the owners are giving me free parking. So what you can start doing is start telling the Turo guests about these businesses, about these restaurants, about these stores. Start telling them about start telling your hire car renters, or if Turo guests, or whoever you're renting to, about these establishments, these businesses behind us, the restaurants, the grocery stores. And once you get to know the management, come their managers, and they know that you refer all the time, and you're getting business, they'll say, okay, cool. You could rent. You could park your car here overnight or every day or whenever you need it. Just let us know. So I get free parking. I don't even pay for parking anymore. I have connections with different management companies, different managers, different security guards that allow me to park in certain locations, and also restaurants, because I give them business. I also say, hey, when I'll keep an eye on your parking lot. I'll sweep up for you if I need to. Sounds ridiculous, right? But I say I'll bring a little broom, say, hey, I'll sweep up and clean up for you. They usually say no, it's okay, but I do it anyway. Take pictures of before and after, and they even love that, because they're like, wow, this dude not only uses our parking lot when he needs it. My cars are usually booked anyway. I don't bother them all the time. But when I do, I clean up the parking lot and they leave it looking better than when I left. That's how you do it, people. That's how you get free parking, and that's how you actually win this and get free parking where people don't mind giving you free parking. That's eliminated. You don't have to worry about street parking no more. As your fleet grows, you have a lot like this. So I was gonna say, you get a lot like this, and I can actually park all my cars here for free, people. Look at all this. This lot itself fits about probably 500 cars. And this is what I'm talking about. When you get to know a store or a security guard or someone that actually just is cool with you or just likes you, and you're honest with them and transparent, don't try to be sneaky about it, let them know what you're doing, they'll usually respect it. This is how I do it. This is what I've done, and I don't even have to pay for this, people. And if I do need to pay for it, fine, but I actually don't. They allow me to do this for free, and oftentimes my cars are booked out all the time where I don't even have to worry about parking them here. But when I do need a car parked here, I get a lot. I get a security guard who watches my car, all for free, people. That's how you do it. That's how I park my 20 cars. But the best way to get your cars parked, get your 20 cars parked or any cars parked, is always have them rented. If you have them rented, you never need to worry about parking. And I don't like worrying about parking. So if I'm worrying about parking, that means I'm not working hard enough to get my cars out there. So if they're not being rented, that means they're being parked, and I don't like this. Being parked means I'm not making any money. So to make money, I need to do better at marketing for hire car and Turo. So I'm a Turo host and also a hire car owner. I have 20 cars, and this is how you do it, people. Like, subscribe, share. I'm gonna teach more hacks and tricks on how to actually succeed. Follow me on Instagram at Conrad Layn. Love you guys. Like, subscribe, share. Conrad Layn out. Peace.